here this morning. As you heard, my name is Mike Jankowiak. I'm a captain with the New York State Police here in Troop K. I am the Zone 1 Commander out of SP Livingston. Also joining us today is our Dutchess County Executive, Mr. Marcus Molinaro, as well as the Dutchess County Stop DWI Coordinator, our good friend, Mr. Lawson. Again, thank you for being here. We brought you all here today to discuss the education and enforcement campaign that the New York State Police are initiating in connection with the upcoming 4th of July holiday weekend travel. As you know, the 4th is going to be on a Saturday this year, so the holiday period officially starts on July 3rd and is going to run through July 6th. During that time, the New York State Police are going to have additional supplemental enforcement details in order to deter drinking and driving, speeding, and distracted driving. So again, in addition to all the enforcement that we do every day throughout the year, we are going to have extra details. Sobriety checkpoints, roving saturation patrols to ensure that we locate and arrest as many of the drunk drivers that are out there, as well as the distracted driving. Distracted driving still remains one of the highest reasons for fatalities on New York State highways and nationwide. And we're also going to be doing a number of underage drinker initiative details. And essentially what that involves is we'll have undercover troopers with underage operatives out there targeting on and off-premise establishments in order to prevent them from selling to underage drinkers. Last year, for reference, the New York State Police issued more than 10,000 tickets during the 4th of July holiday weekend. More than 180 people were arrested for driving while intoxicated, and we also investigated more than 650 accidents. My goal, and I tell you this today, is to do much less of that. The only way we can do less work is if the people that are driving on the highways this holiday weekend abide by the laws. They pay attention, they plan appropriately, they drive a little bit slower, they put their cell phones down. There's no reason to have cell phones while you're driving. And if you drink, you absolutely, positively, simply cannot drive. Designate a safe driver, a sober driver to get you where you're going. Because unfortunately, over the years, the holiday period for the 4th of July has become one of the most dangerous holidays during the year. For instance, in 2013, 512 people nationwide were killed as a result of, they were killed in crashes. Of those 512, 199, which is 39%, just about 40%, involved operators who were driving with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or greater. So again, we all know 0.08 is the legal limit. Once you hit 0.08, you've committed a crime. You cannot drive. So again, thank you for coming out today. We do have a couple demonstrations for you so that you can get a better idea exactly what alcohol does to the average motorist that's out there, and hopefully it'll dispel those rumors that some people say that just a couple drinks and I'll be fine to drive. Here today you're going to see that that is not necessarily the case. It is absolutely not the case. So next I have our County Executive, Mr. Marcus Molinaro, who would like to say a few words.
I always enjoy when I get introduced that way. This politician would like to say a few words, as if that was ever somewhat of a question. I want to just offer three basic messages. First and foremost, Dutchess County will continue its coordinated effort with the New York State Police and local law enforcement throughout the county to both educate and deter driving while under the influence or impaired driving in all of its forms. We have a very concerted, very aggressive effort through our Stop DWI program and the funding we receive from the state of New York, and of course Dutchess County's own commitment through the Sheriff's Office. We, this week, through the Independence Day holiday weekend, will continue our concerted effort working with local law enforcement in particular, from Tivoli to Pauling, from Fishkill to Millerton, along with increased patrols and checkpoints organized in partnership with the Dutchess County Sheriff's Office. In that, I want to extend, on behalf of Sheriff Butch Anderson and District Attorney Bill Grady, that we will continue not only to enforce but to prosecute to the utmost extent of the law those who make such a destructive decision. Additionally, I want to remind folks that Dutchess County is a county in the state of New York with a social host law, which means if you are a family and think it's okay to host individuals under the age of 21 and provide alcohol, not only is it not okay, in this county it's exceptionally illegal, with added enforcement efforts and increased penalties. And we will continue not only to promote but enforce our social host law This is one of those areas as you come out of high school graduation weekend into the 4th of July holiday weekend where sadly I think some make decisions where they think they're being safe, but ultimately, as already been mentioned, we see far too often the tragic aftermath, if you will, of young people accessing alcohol. Now lastly, and not necessarily specific to this enforcement effort, I also want to join all of my colleagues in Dutchess County government in extending our appreciation to the New York State Police, not only in light of their coordinated efforts in upstate New York to bring back to justice two individuals who escaped from a correctional facility, but law enforcement, I think, of late has been not getting the best press or media attention. But the truth of the matter is that New York State's police are among the finest in the country. I'd like to think that Dutchess County's Sheriff's Office and those local law enforcement officials are among the finest in the state of New York. They work every day. They probably will do 1,000 things right in any given day and never be questioned. But the truth of the matter is, over the course of this week and really throughout their service, these are men and women who are going to continue to put their lives on the line in order to ensure for our safety and security. At the same time, with efforts like this, they're not only enforcing the law, but they're trying in a very careful way to educate the public and provide support, education, and information so people make smarter choices and govern themselves. So with that, we certainly want to extend our appreciation and prayers and thanks to the men and women of law enforcement. We thank you for organizing this activity today. And while we will likely get a few chuckles or a couple giggles out of watching folks drive around in golf carts, just remember that to access a vehicle under the influence or to drive while distracted is not something that we should giggle at. It often results in tragic incidents where lives are lost, lives are ended, and families and communities are destroyed. And with that, and for that, Dutchess County remains a strong partner in this enforcement effort. Thanks. You want Bill to say a few words? He's always happy to speak.
Sure. Good afternoon, Bill Johnson, Dutchess County Stop DWI Coordinator. Just want to share a couple of words in relation to this activity. Thank the State Police for putting it together, obviously, today. The whole intent is experiential learning, to get people to experience what it potentially feels like to be impaired or have your judgment altered when you get behind the wheel. The thing that we must remain intelligent and committed about is this is 100% preventable. People can prevent impaired driving accidents, crashes, and getting behind the wheel. We still average about 1,400 impaired driving arrests every year in Dutchess County. Folks, that's about 125 arrests every month of the year. The Stop DWI program assists in the coordination of all the enforcement and education activities throughout the county. And it's 100% paid for by fines from people convicted from impaired driving offenses within this county. So again, it is a big issue. The 4th of July holiday is and has become one of the most deadly on the highway. And we appreciate your support today in getting the word out that this is a preventable situation and folks need to be a little more concerned about it. Thank you.
Are there any questions?
Well, basically, since you guys are kind of letting everybody know what's going on this weekend, it's not really about arrests. You guys are here to promote prevention.
Absolutely. I mean, prevention is the first step in the process. I would love to be out of business. If I didn't, and my troopers did not experience drunk drivers, that would be a plus for us. In my 25-plus year career, I've been to far too many accidents where I've seen tragedy that could have been easily averted had somebody just taken the extra step to call for a sober driver, or to drive a little bit slower, or to simply put down that cell phone. I've been seeing this for 25 years, and it doesn't get any easier. In fact, it's more discouraging, because for all those people that do learn their lessons, it seems there's another generation who want to come forth and test the water, so to speak. They're out there. We've lowered the BAC in New York State to 0.08. There's many people out there under the misnomer that they can still have several drinks and be okay to drive. And again, we're going to show here today through demonstration that that is not possible. You do lose a certain level of your psychomotor coordination, and you are not safe to drive a car. We want everybody who's out there on the roadways this holiday season and every day of the year to drive safely and be aware of the dangers. And I can't stress enough the collaborative effort through law enforcement here in Dutchess County, and particularly the District Attorney's Office. Mr. Grady has dedicated 3 assistant district attorneys to prosecute DWIs full-time. That's how important it is here in Dutchess County. And as Mr. Johnson pointed out, we've noticed this decrease in DWI arrests for alcohol. We are noticing, unfortunately, an increase in the arrests for driving while a person's ability is impaired through the use of drugs. That's prescription drugs and illicit drugs. So again, our drug recognition expert, who you'll be hearing from shortly, is going to go through some of the nuances and the clues that they look for in order to detect and arrest those offenders as well. Any other questions?